Welcome to Comfort Time with Aunty Yunike. It's great to have you with me. The story I'm sharing today is called God Restores. This is something I experienced, and that's why I want to share with you to give you hope, because I'd heard of God restoring. I'd never experienced it. I didn't even know what that meant. Have you ever been in a situation where you find yourself having nothing else to do but to put one foot in front of the other? Because there are so many needs that you have to attend to. There's so much that needs your attention, and you don't have any choice but to just put one foot in front of the other. And I'm saying this, I shared a video called When God Wants Your Attention, where I'm a widow, my 4 children, all going to school, all needing my attention, and just feeling pulled in all situations, like pulled left, right, and center. But somehow you have to be balanced, and you have to continue functioning because you can't afford to do anything else. So I'm sharing a story of my children, my eldest daughters, who finished school early. They went into university. After university, they got into relationships, courted, got engaged, got married, and I was ready to let them out of the nest. Then my twin boys, they were younger. They finished their secondary school and did their first year at the University of Zambia. By God's grace, we were able to get them into a university in India, Loyola, and I've shared their story in a video called Poverty. And I remember going to the embassy asking for the visas for the twin boys, and the embassy staff asking, how did you get these children into Loyola? Because even Indians living in India have a hard time getting their children into that school. But they saw their grades, and then they saw the history. They were coming from a secondary school run by the Jesuits, and Loyola, even in India, is run by the Jesuits. So they were able to get into that school. They came back and stayed for another year and went again for 2 years. And all that time, I felt that I had missed out on my children's growth. They had been away so long. They were coming from boarding school where I only saw them during the holidays. Then they went to the university. They were there for 3 years. I only had them for a short time, and they were gone again for their masters for another 2 years. So I felt like in total for the entire 5 years they were away from me, and I felt like I'd missed out on being with them. This made me sad, made me helpless, but I thought that there was nothing else I could do. So now I was sad, and then they came back. They finished, and I've shared that in other stories. They came back, and now I was able to be with them. By this time, the girls had gone, and when the girls had gone, they were living, even if they had gone away, they were married, they were in the same town, so I still had access to them. We still used to interact. So now the boys were in the house, and because they were in the house, we were able to now really spend time together. So I had all the time I wanted with them. We had so many experiences. We were able to go out. We were able to just have a great time. And I felt that the time that when they were away has been restored. We were able to reconnect, rebond in a way that made me feel I hadn't missed out on anything. That made me feel I'm now getting to know my children. They are getting to know me, and we're getting to spend so much time, the time that we needed. even if it was a shorter time together than the time when they were away, I still felt like that was enough time to restore the time that I felt I'd missed out on. And the purpose of sharing this story is that there are many of us. Some, it could be a sibling, it could be a husband who is very busy at work and he's working most hours, and you are left alone at home. And as you are left at home looking after the children, you're beginning to feel neglected. So as you're beginning to feel neglected, you're beginning to feel like you're losing out on the time with your husband, on the time with your children. So here I'm trying to show you that just ask God to restore the time. When that period is over, when is it a husband, is it a wife, is done doing that work that they must do, and they are now free to spend time with you and the children, you will find that the quality of time that you have together will make up for the time that you feel like you lost. It could be a husband feeling like that, it could be a wife feeling like that, it could be a sibling. Whatever your situation, God does restore. And restoration of time lost does not have to be like I felt I'd lost out on 5 years, and that to me I needed a 5 years somewhere to feel that I'd covered the time I lost to be with my children. But it doesn't work that way. You could have lost 20 years, 30 years, and believe me, just in 1 year you could recover the time that you lost. And this could be also like you to school. You felt that you didn't go to school and you want to go to school. You can just do one course and recover all that time that you felt you lost. So here I'm encouraging everybody to pray and ask God to restore. If there's any particular area where you feel that you have lost out on, ask God to restore that area. And sometimes it happens that maybe you were in a bad marriage. You were married for 20 years, 30 years, and you feel you have nothing to show for it. And now you're even so scared to venture into another relationship. Allow God to give you that restoration, because God will bring into your life people that will restore the time that you lost in no time. Maybe you even be in a relationship, maybe even a marriage for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, and you feel, what? I thought I lost 30 years, but I've got 50 years in the 20 years that I have now. So allow God to restore the time. Ask Him, be discerning, and be humble to see that this is God restoring, because sometimes you will think it's too good to be true. Like I shared in the story of fear of second chances. You will not embrace it. So please trust God. Trust that He's there for you, and that He really wants to restore what you lost. And embrace it, take it up, enjoy it, and thank God. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this encourages you to look out and to not feel depressed that you have lost out because you have lost nothing. God is able and willing to restore, and He will restore what you felt you lost. Comfort Time continues. I hope you have subscribed. If you haven't, please do. See you in the next video.